So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about benefits on siding and replacing it. Today we're installing Newport Ovation siding by Mastic. Out here we also installed the roof. We're doing the soffit, the fascia, and the gutters as well. So the first thing we started off with was the roof. You know, roofing can be a dirty job, so we want to make sure we get all the debris off the house with a new shingle on it before we start with the siding. Obviously the gutters are off as well. We're not going to install anything below that roof before the roof is completely installed. On this house we got a little bit of extra detail. So we installed a PVC board around this bay window here. We had to cut it out of 4 foot by 8 foot sheets of PVC just to install that one radius at the top. So we took the old one down, traced the template on that PVC, and made sure that it was going to fit perfect. Whenever you're looking for a siding installer, a lot of times people are taking shortcuts. Something as simple as the J channel, the way the J channel is ran to make sure the water is flowing away from that window. One thing we look at when we're talking to our siding installers is making sure that they're mitered, making sure that the inside flap of that J channel is folded down into the other one so the water can flow and it doesn't penetrate your windows. We've installed a Tyvek wrap on this as well. You can see our suppliers, B&L, got their logos up on it. We install a Tyvek wrap to make sure we got a nice flat surface to install it on. This house didn't need any foam board, so we took it right down to the bare plywood, and we started with our Tyvek wrap, starter strip. We ran our outside corners in J channel, and then we started installing our siding. Another good tip with siding that I see commonly is when you look at a side of a house and you see any bowing or imperfections in the siding, a lot of times it's an installation error. They're putting their nails too close to the outside lip of that. So you got an oval ring on the inside of that siding that your nail base is. You want your nail to be right in the middle of that. Vinyl siding is going to move, so you've got to give it room to expand and contract. Another good thing about replacing your roof and siding together is you're able to get to all the important parts, the flashing. So up along the porch there, you're going to see that we got vertical lines that are going across. You want to make sure that they're nice and straight. So we've got our flashing, our top metal piece that's going to come 4 inches out onto the roof, as well as 4 inches behind the siding rather. So it's going to go behind that siding. And then we start our J channel and run it up along there. You can also see it along right below the roof rather, above those windows. It's nice and straight. You've got the same exposure on the left window as you do on the right window. You don't have a 1-inch piece of siding and then a 3-inch piece of siding over here. So they make sure that they chalk the lines off of that roof line to run them nice and straight. It's little details when it comes to siding. The J channel, the outside corners, the trim piece. Like above this bay window here, we actually have a foldable piece of J channel that's going to allow it to wrap around that on a radius. A lot of times people will try to take a standard piece of J channel and they put a bunch of cuts in it, and then you're going to have a bunch of seams that water can penetrate and get to the top of that. While we were up here, we also replaced the metal roofing that's on there with one continuous piece of metal. So whenever we install this roof install, we also replaced all the drip edge up along the rake, and we installed a gutter apron down along the eave. The important part of that is a couple reasons. One, you're making sure no water's getting behind your fascia metal. We're going to be installing brand new fascia metal. You can see on this side over here. We don't want to have any wind-driven rain, water dripping off the roof. We don't want anything getting behind your fascia metal and allowing water to penetrate your fascia boards. They'll rot out. They'll also lead to pieces of fascia blowing off. So we install drip edge up along the rake and gutter apron along the eave. The gutter apron is going to go into the gutter. So it prevents any water from getting behind the gutter and causing icicles or slick spots on your driveway or walkway. We're going with 5-inch K-style gutters on here with all new white downspouts to match the trim of the house. These homeowners, when the sales guy came out to them, we have an app called a visualizer where we were actually able to show these homeowners what it would look like if they painted their brick with white. So as you can see, this used to be a red brick. When we come to sell the job, this was all red brick. We pulled up on a visualizer, we showed the homeowners what the new siding would look like with the new roof, and then they said, well, I'm thinking about painting my brick with white. So we put a white overlay on that brick, and then when we come to do the job, it's already ready for us with the white brick painted. So what you can see here is we had a 4 foot by 8 foot sheet of PVC. This is a heavy duty, it's not wood, it's not gonna rot, water can't penetrate it. So we had to purchase a 4 foot by 8 foot sheet. We traced the template of the top of that off, so we were very careful whenever we removed that, so we can get a nice template on here to trace it and fit the other one perfect. It may look like a lot of wasted material, but I'll be honest, it's the only way to do it. It's gonna give you a flawless look. We're not trying to cut it in half and give you a seam on it just to save material. We made sure we took one continuous piece out of that to give you a product that's gonna last for years to come.